please like, comment, and subscribe. Welcome, risers, to an episode of Phoenix Rising Enterprises. I'm your host, Veronica Nicole. Thank you for rejoining me. The first video was the intro. Now we're into the meat and the potatoes of the subject, ending toxic cycles. All right, risers. So once you really realize that you're in a toxic relationship, then you also realize it's probably not your first time, that you've been in many toxic relationships. Guess what? It's very likely that all of this has been normalized, a bad habit and development, and you've probably become codependent. Or you may even struggle with more significant dependent issues. So what does that mean? Well, it means that you might have unhealthy relationship patterns. And figuring out this key to breaking this cycle is what's going to get you free permanently. Ask yourself this question: do I have low self-esteem? And that's a really serious question that you should actually be honest with yourself about. First of all, most people will quickly say, without thinking, I have high self-esteem, I love myself. But do you even know the signs of low self-esteem? Things like saying negative things and being critical about your own self, joking about yourself in negative ways, focusing on all the negative and ignoring all of your achievements, blaming yourself when things go wrong, and thinking other people are better than you, thinking that you don't even deserve the best or allowing the best in your life. These are signs. These are symptoms that you may indeed suffer from low self-esteem. You can also ask yourself, do you struggle with emotional intimacy? Is it difficult for you to share your true feelings with your friends or your family or even your partners? Allowing yourself to be vulnerable, allowing yourself to let love in with that special someone, whether it's a family member, a confidant, a friend, or even in a relationship, is a healthy sign that you do not struggle with emotional intimacy. But if you have an issue with doing those things, you can definitely check off, yeah, I have a problem. I do struggle with emotional intimacy. And then you'll have others say, no, I don't have a problem with emotional intimacy. Well, do you have a problem allowing yourself to connect more deeply with your partner through actions and express your feelings of vulnerability and trust? Emotional intimacy strengthens the love bond between couples. A strong emotional connection fosters the feelings of comfort, security, refuge, and mutual support between couples. With a lack of emotional intimacy, it leads to connection problems, loneliness, and just a wedge between the relationship itself. Another question you can ask yourself: do you struggle to maintain boundaries? Poor boundaries and low self-esteem frequently go hand in hand because of our foundational relationship with boundaries. The more you practice establishing well-defined boundaries, the more people will treat you worthy. They're just off the bat, off the rip, right? Just going to treat you with self-respect, and the stronger your self-esteem will become. And all to the long-term benefit of yourself. All right, here's another question to ask yourself. Do you fear abandonment or rejection? When people fear this abandonment or this rejection so greatly that they're willing to stay in unhealthy relationships, even if it's abuse, verbal, mental, emotional, psychological, all of the above, because they are afraid to let go of this relationship when it's deeper than, it's not love. This is not a healthy form of love that you're tied to. You're tied to toxicity, but you're afraid, of this abandonment instead of releasing it and moving forward to something so much better. Now, it's kind of back to the first video, the intro, where we were talking about childhood issues, childhood traumas, the root causes to why we even tie ourselves to toxic cycles in the first place. Abandonment fear often stems from childhood loss. And this loss could be related to traumatic events, such as a parent that abused you, or death, or divorce. It can also come from being physically abused. It's many factors on why people have abandonment issues, but they're all from childhood loss. Another question to ask yourself: are you a people pleaser? Does it make you feel anxious to say no to anyone? Now, being a people pleaser can be kind of misconstrued into being a maybe considerate or helpful person, maybe kind of kind, but there's a difference. See, a person who is a people pleaser has like an emotional need to please others, often at the expense of their own needs or desires. Being a people pleaser can be bad. It can be very toxic and unhealthy. You actually want to say no. You actually want to do the opposite of what you're doing, but you're not brave enough. You're not strong enough. You're not confident enough to stand your ground and say no. And I mean no. So here we go again. A lot of us live in denial. They'll say, nope, not at all. Me, I'm far from a people pleaser. I have no problem saying no. Okay, well, let's look at the signs of and the symptoms of being a people pleaser. You pretend to agree with everyone. That's a sign of people pleasing. Ooh, another one is apologizing often. You're always apologizing. Frequently apologizing, excessively blaming yourself, taking responsibility for something you know you didn't do. Why are you apologizing? Stop it. Or you feel responsible on how other people feel. If you tell someone something or express something to someone, you don't need to feel as if you've done anything wrong. You've released that and now it's on them. Or you feel burdened by the things you have to do for people because you're too afraid to say no. You can't say no, or you feel uncomfortable to say something to someone because you'll make them angry. You don't want conflict. Not to say that you're a person that draws or feeds off of conflict, but you're assertive, right? You're assertive within yourself, and you're willing to deal with the backlash. Like, I've told you no, what are we going to do? Or if you get mad, then that sounds like a personal problem. If you want to retaliate, then I'm ready for war. All right, risers, you know me. I'm long-winded. I could go on, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to make it short, and we're going to come back for another video when it comes to fixing these issues with ending toxic cycles. Please join me on next video. Please like, comment, and subscribe.